I request all the honorable dignitaries and distinguished guests to kindly rise for the national anthem.
गण अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उज्जल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Honorable the Vice President of India, Shri Jagdeep Dhankhar, Honorable Mr. Justice Sandeep Mehta, Judge Supreme Court of India, Honorable Mr. Justice M.M. Srivastav, Chief Justice of the High Court of Rajasthan, Honorable Judges of the High Court of Rajasthan, respected Solicitor General of India, Mr. Tushar Mehta, esteemed officers of the Registry, respected judicial officers and distinguished guests. It is with profound reverence and immense honor that I welcome you all to this momentous assembly, the state-level Judicial Officers Conference on Changing Dimensions of Criminal Laws and New Era of Criminal Justice System in India. This distinguished gathering, held in the glorious continuation of the Platinum Jubilee celebrations of the High Court of Rajasthan, marks a pivotal juncture in our shared commitment to the sanctity of our criminal justice system and our dedication to embrace and implement the groundbreaking reforms that resonate with contemporary India. In the spirit of this auspicious gathering, and to formally commence the proceedings for the evening, I now cordially invite Honorable Mr. Justice M.M. Srivastav, Chief Justice of the High Court of Rajasthan, to extend a warm welcome to Honorable the Vice President of India, Shri Jagdeep Dhankhar, by presenting a bouquet and the traditional Rajasthani Safa. Thank you so much, Your Lordship. I now cordially invite Honorable Ms. Justice Rekha Borana to kindly extend a warm welcome to Dr. Mrs. Sudesh Dhankhar by presenting a bouquet and a shawl. Thank you so much, Your Lordship. I now kindly request Honorable Mr. Justice Pankaj Bhandari to kindly extend a warm welcome to Honorable Mr. Justice Sandeep Mehta by presenting a bouquet and the traditional Rajasthani Safa. Thank you so much, Your Lordship. I extend a cordial invitation to Honorable Mr. Justice Vineet Kumar Mathur to kindly welcome Mr. Tushar Mehta by presenting a bouquet and the traditional Rajasthani safa. Thank you so much, Your Lordship. It is my distinct pleasure to invite Honorable Mr. Justice Shri Chandrasekhar to kindly grace us with a welcome address at this conference.
Honorable Vice President Shri Jagdeep Dhankhar ji, Honorable Justice Shri Sandeep Mehta ji, Chief Justice Honorable Justice M.M. Srivastava ji, respected Madam Dr. Mrs. Sudesh Dhankhar ji, respected Madam Suman Mehta ji, respected Madam Madhu Srivastava ji, respected sister and brother judges, gracious ladies, Solicitor General Shri Tushar Mehta ji, Registrar General, registrars and the registry members, judicial officers, ladies and gentlemen. It is widely recognized that the penal laws in India were the product of a particular time and the cultural context. Sir James Fitzjames Stephen once remarked that the Indian Penal Code may be described as the first criminal law of England. In his article, Codification, Macaulay and Indian Penal Code, the legacy and modern challenges of criminal law reform, the learned author Barry Wright has written that the Indian Penal Code was a patchwork of the Muslim and the Hindu laws. It transplanted the English laws and the regulations of the East India Company in an attempt to make the imperial authority more effective and legitimate. Over the years, the nature and extent of crimes changed and the Indian Penal Code was amended 77 times. Similarly, the Criminal Procedure Code and the Indian Evidence Act underwent changes through numerous amendments. Still, it was believed that these criminal law statutes were not adequately equipped to deal with the modern challenges. It is said that the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, Bharatiya Saksh Adhiniyam, and Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Sanhita seek to foster a new criminal justice system which is based on human rights and natural justice. The most significant aspect of the criminal law codes is that they are concise and comprehensive and aim at minimizing discretion and differences in legal status. In this background, the Conference of Changing Dimensions of Criminal Laws and a new era of criminal justice system in India assumes great significance. Such is the importance of this conference that I feel greatly honored to stand here to welcome Honorable the Vice President Shri Jagdeep Dhankhar ji. Born on 18th May 1951, Honorable Shri Jagdeep Dhankhar ji was enrolled as an advocate in 1979 on the rolls of the Bar Council of Rajasthan. At the young age of 36, Honorable Shri Dhankhar ji was elected as a member of the Rajasthan Bar Council and he was designated as Senior Counsel in 1990 when he was just 39. In the same year, Honorable Shri Dhankhar ji was elected as a member of Lok Sabha and became a minister in the Union Cabinet. Honorable Shri Dhankhar ji took oath as the Governor of West Bengal on 30th July 2019 and occupied another high constitutional seat of the Vice President of India in July 2022. Honorable Shri Dhankhar ji carries a very humble and down-to-earth persona. His simplicity, determination and tenacity are worth emulating by all of us. Today it would be a great opportunity for this august gathering, more particularly the judicial officers and the judges of this High Court, to hear the views of Honorable Vice President, Honorable Shri Jagdeep Dhankhar ji, who has such vast and varied experience in the legal and parliamentary field. I welcome you, sir. I welcome Honorable Justice Sandeep Mehta ji, Judge Supreme Court of India. His Lordship was enrolled as an advocate in the year 1986, and since then, the journey as an advocate was remarkable. For a decade, His Lordship was a member of the Bar Council of Rajasthan and became its chairman in the year 2010. His Lordship was also the Vice Chairman of the Rajasthan Bar Council from 2005 to 2006. Before his elevation as a judge of the Rajasthan High Court, His Lordship was designated as senior advocate by this court. His Lordship adorned the seat of the Judge of the Supreme Court of India on 12th November 2023, but before that he was the Chief Justice of the Guwahati High Court since 10th February 2023. The art of writing a judgment, which His Lordship perfected in his early years as a High Court judge, took shape in the coming years and is reflected in the erudite exposition of law in the judgments rendered in the Honorable Supreme Court. Recently, the bench comprising Honorable Justice Gavai and Honorable Justice Mehta ji issued a advisory to the High Courts, reminding us that Article 21 of the Constitution of India is the soul of the Constitution, as the liberty of a citizen is of paramount importance. Not deciding the matter pertaining to liberty of a citizen expeditiously and sending away the matter on one or the other ground would deprive the accused of his precious right guaranteed under Article 21 of the Constitution of India. It was only this week that a judgment was delivered in Tushar Bhai, Rajnikant Bhai Saha versus State of Gujarat, again by the bench comprising Honorable Justice Gavai and Honorable Justice Mehta ji, drawing a line between cooperating with the investigation and confession of the crime by an accused. This judgment lays down that whether or not the accused was cooperating with the investigation cannot be tested and decided on the basis of the fact that the accused has confessed the crime before the investigating officer. And it was only yesterday that His Lordship delivered a judgment in Allah Rakha Habib Menon versus State of Gujarat, holding that confession recorded by medical officer when the accused was presented by the police officer shall be inadmissible as evidence. We all are excited to hear His Lordship. I welcome Honorable Justice Sandeep Mehta ji. I welcome Honorable Chief Justice M.M. Srivastava ji, a brilliant student of law having secured gold medal in the LLB examination. Honorable Justice M.M. Srivastava ji was an equally accomplished advocate. His Lordship was designated as senior advocate on 31st January 2005 and elevated as a judge of the High Court of Chhattisgarh on 10th December 2009. We all believe that it is a matter of pride for the Rajasthan judiciary that His Lordship took oath as the Chief Justice of the Rajasthan High Court on 6th February 2024. Honorable the Chief Justice is known for his scholarly judgments, an able administrator, and above all, a great human being. Thank you, sir, for conceiving the idea of this conference. I welcome Sri Tushar Mehta ji, the Solicitor General of India. How brilliant Sri Tushar Mehta ji has been in the legal field that can be easily known from the fact that he received 5 gold medals and honorary doctorates from the Amity University and Karnataka State Law University. He was designated as a senior advocate on 14th August 2008 and appointed as an additional advocate general on 16th December 2008. Soon he shifted to Delhi and was appointed as Additional Solicitor General of India on 7th June 2014 and became the Solicitor General of India on 10th October 2018. Thank you Tushar Mehta ji for being with us tonight. I welcome sister and brother judges who did not leave any stone unturned to ensure that every program in the Platinum Jubilee celebrations is a success. I welcome the gracious ladies I also welcome all the dignitaries of the dais, registry members, judicial officers, and all present here. I once again welcome you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Lordship. As our revered program unfolds, it is with immense respect and deep admiration that I extend a gracious invitation to Honorable Mr. Justice M.M. Srivastav, Chief Justice of the High Court of Rajasthan, to kindly deliver the special address.
His Excellency, the Vice President of India, Shri Jagdeep Dhankhar ji, respected Madam Sudesh Dhankhar ji, Honorable Mr. Justice Sandeep Mehta, Judge Supreme Court of India, Honorable Mr. Justice Chandrasekhar, Judge Rajasthan High Court, Honorable Dr. Justice Pushpin Singh Bhati, Judge Rajasthan High Court, my esteemed brother and sister judges of Rajasthan High Court, Shri Tushar Mehta, Solicitor General of India, respected Madam Mehta, gracious ladies, Registrar General and officers of the Registry, Rajasthan State Judicial Academy and Rajasthan State Legal Services Authority, distinguished guests, judicial officers, representatives of media. It is indeed a matter of proud privilege and honor for me to share the platform with the iconic figures and eminent jurists and to deliver address in the State Level Judicial Officers Conference being organized in continuation of the Platinum Jubilee celebration of the Rajasthan High Court. This State Level Conference of Judicial Officers is historic and a great moment in many ways. As we all know, the Rajasthan High Court is celebrating 75 years of its glorious journey in dispensation of justice to the litigants in the state of Rajasthan. To commemorate this glorious journey, the Rajasthan High Court has been organizing various events, conferences, seminars and workshops in the august presence of dignitaries like Chief Justice of India, judges of the Honorable Supreme Court, legal experts and jurists, and with the cooperation of the bar as well as bench. This conference is a series of Platinum Jubilee celebration, therefore, is of special significance for all of us. The subject of this conference in the present era and days is one of the most important, relevant and contemporary for all judicial officers of the state. We all know that from 1st of July 2024, new criminal laws replacing earlier laws have come into force, and the entire criminal justice delivery system is being now governed under the new regime of criminal laws. It is of utmost importance that all the stakeholders become fully conversant with the new regime of law as early as possible. Today's conference assumes great significance and importance, as the judicial officers would be enlightened by the speech of Honorable the Vice President of India, who is a legal expert and jurist as well, and was doyen at the bar of Rajasthan High Court and thereafter in the Supreme Court of India, before assumption of constitutional office of the Governor of the state of West Bengal, and then as the Vice President of India. Honorable Vice President of India is known not only for his deep knowledge and understanding of the Constitution of India and constitutional principles, but he is well known as expert in criminal laws all over the country. And at this stage, I cannot resist mentioning that I had the rare privilege of appearing in cases with him as a state junior, and in some cases even against him. I cannot express the elated feeling which we all are having to find amongst ourselves the Honorable Vice President of India, who hails from this state. And for this reason, our conference has assumed great importance. For judges of the High Court and the judicial officers of the state Today's conference carries special meaning and importance, as Honorable Mr. Justice Sandeep Mehta, Judge Supreme Court of India, would also be delivering his speech on the subject. Justice Sandeep Mehta is acknowledged in the legal fraternity not only as expert in constitutional laws, but also expert in criminal laws. He earned reputation as a leading criminal lawyer practicing in the Rajasthan High Court as also in the Supreme Court before his elevation to the bench. After his elevation, Justice Sandeep Mehta has penned down large number of judgments dealing with practically every aspect of criminal law, and the law reporters are replete with his judgments. As judge of the Supreme Court, Justice Mehta has delivered many important and path-breaking judgments touching upon many aspects of the criminal laws soon after he adorned the seat of the judge of the High Court. The august presence of the two eminent personalities is going to be a historic event by all means. The beneficiaries of today's conference are, of course, the judges of the High Court and the judicial officers of the state who are dealing with criminal matters day in and day out. Today's conference for judicial officer has been organized keeping in mind that the district judiciary is a bedrock on which the entire criminal justice delivery system stands, and it is the foundation of the criminal justice delivery system and being the first point of connect between the system and the litigant. The judges are not employees as they exercise sovereign judicial power of the state as dispensers of justice. The judges conducting trials are the foundation in the hierarchical system of administration of criminal justice. They directly come in contact with the litigant during the proceedings in courts. The judicial officers are the beneficiaries of the conference, which is intended to provide them the platform to acquaint them with the new laws so as to be able to correctly follow the procedures and substantive provisions laid down in the new criminal laws. It is an auspicious day as we are all celebrating Tribal Day also, which reminds the society of its duty to protect and preserve and at the same time elevate socio-economic condition of the tribals. The Constitution of India contains provisions to protect the rights of the tribals. The Constitution of India as well as various legislations seek to protect rights and interests of the tribals. When the new criminal laws were brought into existence and force on 1st of July 2024, all of you must have thought as to why old laws were repealed and what was the necessity to completely overhaul the criminal justice delivery system and criminal laws in India. To know the answer, one will have to look into the objects and reasons which are enshrined in the three legislations, namely Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita 2023, that is we call in abbreviations as BNS, Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha Samhita 2023, BNSS, and Bharatiya Saksh Adhiniyam 2023, BSA. I shall quote some relevant excerpts, not the entire part of the objects and reasons of these three new legislations to open up our minds as to the necessity of bringing these three new legislations, because every day we have been looking into the provisions of the new laws and grappling with the new suggestion of transitory nature as to under what provision of law, which code of criminal procedure will apply in relation to cases which are now coming before the court. So I wanted to place before the House some brief aspects of the three laws which indicate what was the object and reason for bringing these three new criminal laws. As far as Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita is concerned, it says the government considered it expedient and necessary to review the existing criminal laws with an aim to strengthen law and order and also focus on simplifying legal procedure so that ease of living is ensured to common man. Then it says it is proposed to enact a new law by repealing the Indian Penal Code to streamline provisions relating to offences and penalties. It is proposed to provide for the first time community services as one of the punishments for petty offences. The offences against women and children, murder and offences against the state have been given precedence. Some offences have been made gender neutral in order to deal effectively with the problem of organized crimes and terrorist activities. New offences of Terrorist Act and organized crime have been added in the bill with deterrent punishments. Then some part of the objects and reasons of Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha Samhita says The delay in delivery of justice due to complex legal procedures, large pendency of cases in the courts, low conviction rates, low levels of use of technology in legal systems, delay in investigation system, complex procedures, inadequate use of forensics are the biggest hurdles in the speedy delivery of justice, which impacts poor man adversely. In order to address these issues, a citizen-centric criminal procedure are need of the hour. As far as Bharati Saksh Adhiniyam is concerned, it says the Indian Evidence Act does not address the technological advancement undergone in the country during the last few decades. The law of evidence, which defines pleadings and methodology and on which substantive and procedural laws are worked, does not encompass recent technological advancement. It lacks contemporary needs and aspirations of the people. The experience of 7 decades of Indian democracy calls for comprehensive review of our criminal laws, including Evidence Act also, and adopt them in accordance with the contemporary needs and aspirations of the people. The new law signifies a paradigm shift towards a system where the principles of fairness and transparency are not mere aspirations but tangible realities. The laws have moved away from ruling Indians towards establishing rule of law for Indians by removing colonial provisions such as sedition. They are not about punishment but about nyaya, that is justice. They are not just about procedure but more about protection, suraksha of the citizens that we will find in the title of the new laws. The new criminal laws address concerns like delay in examination of witnesses and delay in conclusion of trials. The new laws have a victim-centric approach also. This shift towards a victim-centric approach focuses not only on punishing offenders but also on providing adequate support, compensation and rehabilitation to victims of crime. The new laws also address issues relating to gender neutrality. The new laws have taken a very sympathetic view towards first-time offenders who are now eligible to be released on bond by the court if they have undergone detention for the period extending up to 1/3 of the maximum period of imprisonment is specified for that offence. Then further, these new criminal laws prioritize human rights protection and dignity also. The new laws give substantial significance to use of science and technology, not just during investigation but also during entire trial. Forensics have been given a special emphasis in order to conduct effective investigation and plug the loopholes. However, the success of these reforms hinges not just on their enactment but on their effective implementation. These new laws, with their progressive provisions and modern outlook, are designed to address the multifaceted challenges of contemporary justice. But their true impact will be realized only when they are implemented with precision, diligence, and a commitment to the principles they embody. In conclusion, the sweeping changes embodied by the Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Sanhita, the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita, and Bharatiya Saksh Adhiniyam mark a transformative chapter in our criminal justice system. Let us embrace this moment of profound change with a shared dedication to realizing the promise of justice that these laws signify. By doing so, we will honor the vision of a just society where the rule of law serves as a beacon of fairness, integrity, and hope for all. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Your Lordship, for your profound wisdom and visionary insights. It is now with great reverence that I extend a cordial invitation to Honorable Mr. Justice Sandeep Mehta to grace us with a special address at this distinguished conference.
It is my pride privilege to welcome the son of the soil, Honorable the Vice President, respected Shri Jagdeep Dhankhar Sahab, into this august institution, the Rajasthan High Court, the new building, for the first time after Honorable Vice President Sahab took over the reins as the Vice President of this country. Honorable Vice President, sir, respected Chief Justice Shri M. Srivastava, sir, brothers, Justice Sri Chandrasekhar, Dr. Pushpender Singh Bhati, respected Madam Vice President, Dr. Sudesh Dhankhar, Shri Tushar Mehta, Solicitor General of India, my esteemed sister and brother judges of Rajasthan High Court, gracious spouses, learned judicial officers, members of the registry, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed, as I said, a matter of pride and privilege for this institution that today we have amongst us the visionary Vice President of India, Honorable Shri Jagdeep Dhankhar Sahab, who single-handedly ruled the criminal justice system of this state while practicing in the Rajasthan High Court. I, as a young lawyer, would really look up to the day when Honorable Jagdeep Dhankhar Sahab would be visiting Jodhpur to argue a matter in the principal seat. It was as if a celebrity had come to town and all were there to watch him. Those who may not have known what kind of practice he had, I would like to tell you that when the cause list was of about 150, 90 matters used to be of our Honorable Vice President. So, dear judicial officers, I can tell you what a significant day this is, that we have amongst us Honorable the Vice President Shri Jagdeep Dhankhar Sahab to address us on this very important topic, the changing dimensions of criminal laws in the new era of criminal justice system in India. We gather here not just as legal professionals, but as custodians of justice, witnesses to the evolution of law in our great nation. I am truly honored and feel privileged that the Rajasthan High Court has invited me to be a part of this important discourse on this transitional phase in the criminal justice system of India. And I envy you all. We were still grappling with the interpretations of the erstwhile criminal laws. At what stage 319 CRPC powers have to be excised? What is the scope of an anticipatory bail application? And here we are, that we have this entirely new challenge, a new task of trying to understand this new transition. But the laws are in place and time has come to implement it. Our legal system, friends, has developed over the centuries, starting with the ancient texts like Manusmriti and being influenced by different rulers and colonial powers. Now we are at the crucial juncture where justice is set to become a basic right for every citizen and not just a privilege for a few. Dharma Shastras have their origin in ancient Dharma Sutra texts, which in turn emerged from the Vedic literary tradition comprising of Rigved, Yajurved, Samaved, Samved and Atharved. These texts were categorized into Samhitas and Brahmanas, prose explanations, and later expanded into Aryankas or speculative texts and Upanishads, mystical and philosophical sections. These focused on understanding the Vedas and gave rise to Dharma Sutras, concise texts providing guidelines for individual and social behavior, ethical norms, as well as personal, civil and criminal law. Late Mughal emperors, including Akbar, established their legal system which combined Islamic law with local customs. The emperor was seen as the ultimate authority and the courts were established at various levels from villages to the imperial capital for administering justice. Mughal courts were systematically graded, including the imperial court, provincial courts, district courts, and the village panchayats. The British East India Company gradually took control of various regions in India. The Indian Penal Code and the Criminal Procedure Code were first enacted in accordance with the Charter Act 1833. Lord Macaulay codified these statutes which were administering the citizens of our country so far as the criminal laws are concerned. Then came the Evidence Act in 1872. On August 11th, 2023, Honorable the Home Minister, Shri Amit Shah ji, introduced 3 bills which have now taken the shape of laws in the Parliament for reforming the current criminal legal system. The Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Samhita to replace the CRPC, Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita to replace the IPC, and Bharatiya Sakshi Samhita to replace the Evidence Act. These 3 laws were introduced to give new dimensions and a new shape to the criminal law and to enhance the justice delivery system. These 3 laws are introduced to replace the continuation of the colonial administration. We find ourselves at the threshold of change, witnessing the historic reform of our 3 major criminal legislations, the CRPC, the IPC, and the Evidence Act. These laws, the relics of the colonial administration, are being reshaped to resonate with the very essence of the Indian identity. As we embark on this transformative journey, it is crucial to recognize the profound importance of justice and its delicate balance with power. These new laws represent a monumental shift from the punitive measures to a justice-centric approach, just as Honorable the Chief Justice read out from the preambles. These new laws will significantly reduce the complexity of our legal system. The criminal justice system in India after independence has not delivered the results because there are certain inherent shortcomings, including substandard investigation, substandard prosecution, and of course the vice of large pendency of criminal cases, delayed court proceedings, delay in disposal of cases, low conviction rate, and a large number of under trial prisoners. The Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita replaces the Indian Penal Code, bringing significant changes to how certain crimes are defined and punished. Notably, the BNS removes the offence of sedition but penalizes the action that threatens the country's unity, like encouraging separatism or armed rebellion. It introduces strict penalties for terrorism, including the death penalty or life imprisonment if it results into someone's death. The BNS also creates a new offence for sexual intercourse obtained through deceitful means, which can result up to 10 years of imprisonment. This act was previously considered under the broader category of rape in the IPC. The BNS retains some of the IPC's provisions related to crimes like murder, assault, and sexual assaulted offences against women, but adds new offences such as organized crime and mob lynching. It also makes organized crime punishable by death or life imprisonment if it leads to a death. Additionally, the BNS increases the age threshold for considering a gang rape victim as a minor from 16 to 18 years and criminalizes the sexual intercourse obtained by false promises. Other new offences include mob lynching, which is now defined as murder or grievous harm committed by 5 or more people based on specific grounds like race or caste, and snatching, which is punishable by up to 3 years in prison. The Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Samhita, that is BNSS, replaces the Code of Criminal Procedure 1973 and introduces several important changes to the legal process for arrest, prosecution and bail. One significant change involves the detention of under trials. Under the BNSS, individuals who have served half of their potential maximum sentence must be released on personal bond, but this rule no longer applies to those facing life imprisonment or those with multiple pending cases. So the BNSS takes care of persons having criminal antecedents or those who are facing trial for heinous offences. The BNSS allows any police officer, not just the higher ranking ones, to request a medical examination of an accused person, which is particularly relevant in cases like rape. The BNSS emphasizes the importance of forensic investigation in serious crimes, requiring forensic experts to visit crime scenes and to collect evidence for cases where the punishment is 7 years or more. It also expands the scope for collecting evidence by allowing the collection of finger impressions and voice samples from individuals, even if they have not been arrested. To address the issue of delays in the justice system, the BNSS sets strict timelines for various procedures, such as requiring medical reports in rape cases to be submitted within 7 days and mandating that judgments must be delivered within 30 days of the completion of arguments, with a possible extension. A key focus of BNSS is reducing the delay in the justice delivery system. The system, which currently sees millions of criminal cases pending for over a year. To speed up the process, the BNSS mandates that investigations, especially those involving crime against women and children, should be completed within 2 months. It also requires the use of technology throughout the legal process, from filing of electronic FIRs to forensic examinations. The BNSS makes it compulsory for the states to introduce and implement forensic examinations for serious offences within 5 years. The Bharatiya Sakshi Samhita is set to replace, or rather has replaced, the Indian Evidence Act 1872. The BSS doesn't introduce major changes to the existing law. I personally feel that the Indian Evidence Act as it existed was a very comprehensive statute, and thus much deviation from that was not possible, and so the legislature has taken the correct view of not tinkering with the established principles of the Evidence Act. The BSS allows the witnesses, the accused persons and the victims to give oral evidence electronically. I'll share with the Honorable the Vice President that the Rajasthan High Court took a lead in this procedure by introducing the electronic recording of evidence of witnesses even before the COVID had struck. The BSS also ensures that electronic or digital records like emails, server logs and smartphone data are treated with the same legal validity as paper records. Additionally, the BSS expands the concept of secondary evidence, allowing it to include oral and written admissions as well as testimony from experts skilled in document examination. This provision would be especially useful when the authenticity of a document is in question. Furthermore, the BSS clarifies the rules around joint trials, stating that if multiple persons are tried together and if one of the accused has absconded or has avoided an arrest or warrant, the trial will still be considered as a joint trial. The new criminal laws are poised to bring significant changes to the country's legal landscape. These laws aim to modernize and streamline the criminal justice system, addressing long-standing issues such as delays in trials, the handling of electronic evidence, and clarity of legal procedures. By replacing the Indian Penal Code, the Code of Criminal Procedure, and the Indian Evidence Act, these new codes introduce stricter timelines for investigations and trials, particularly in cases involving serious offences like terrorism, organized crime, and crimes against women and children. This focus on timely justice is crucial given the backlog of cases in the Indian courts, which has left millions waiting for justice for years together. Friends, a day's conference which has been well thought of by the Rajasthan High Court, particularly when we have a legal luminary, the visionary Honorable the Vice President, who enlighten us on these topics, but I feel that a single day's conference would be totally inappropriate. The discussions would have to continue and the churning process will take a few months, if not years, to come to a real understanding of these new changes. But still, we have to rise to the occasion and ensure that the endeavor of the legislature in bringing a justice-oriented criminal justice system is implemented in the true letter and spirit. We have waited quite significantly to hear Honorable the Vice President and his erudite words, so I will not stand between the speech of Honorable the Vice President. However, I must express my gratitude to Honorable the Chief Justice that he has given me this opportunity to be amongst the judicial officers and to share few of my thoughts. I would also like to share with this august gathering that the trial courts are the place, are the forums where the criminal case is made or is broken. I personally, in my practice of 25.5 years, had the proud privilege of appearing in the trial courts, be it the courts of the magistrates or the session judges or the special courts. And that part of my practice was the most satisfactory part of my entire judicial tenure, judicial career. So dear friends, dear judicial officers, I must request you to pragmatically and actively analyze the new provisions of the new codes introduced by the Parliament and to really try to learn from the visionary speech of Vice President, for which we are eagerly awaiting. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Your Lordship, for your profound vision and invaluable guidance. Now, with great reverence and anticipation, I extend a sincere invitation to Honorable the Vice President of India, Shri Jagdeep Dhankhar, to grace us with a keynote address at this eminent gathering.
Honorable Justice Shri Sandeep Mehta, distinguished Judge of the Supreme Court, a very well-known figure to the entire state of Rajasthan for his deep understanding and acumen of criminal jurisprudence. We all had just now, a while ago, his erudition, exposition with that facility to appreciate the background, the purpose, and also that there will be hiccups. Some time will be taken. That speaks of his sagacious approach and practical stance. Credit goes to Srimati Suman Mehta ji. Honorable Justice Sri Manindra Mohan Srivastava, amiable, lovable, with captivating smile, Chief Justice of this state. I have known him now for about more than a decade and a half, and as modestly put by him, had the good occasion to be with him while assisting the court, and we were also together when he assisted the court along with me from the other side. In all situations, Justice Srivastava was an asset to the bench. Certainly, such an individual is bound to be asset to the bench while he is on the bench. I greet and take note of gracious presence of Srimati Madhu Srivastava ji. She amplifies her name every moment of functioning. I must recall that in Chhattisgarh, we were a trio. Now, who is the third person? Well, I'm not reflecting of a Hindi movie where it may be something enigmatic. Honorable Mr. Justice, a sitting judge of the Supreme Court, Prashant ji. Together, both of us faced him while he was on the other side as Advocate General. And because of two of them, I had the best of time at Chhattisgarh. Let me also reflect here that during my career as senior advocate, that is spread over 3 decades, because my career as an advocate was less than 10.5 years as I was designated senior. I had the occasion to go to various high courts, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Jharkhand, Calcutta High Court, Bombay High Court, Dharwad Bench, and more. It was my great good luck that those who by my side assisted the court are now on the bench in various high courts. Justice Srivastava knows how many of them are in Chhattisgarh, and one has gone recently to Telangana. Sri Tushar Mehta, I must tell you how I came to know him. In court, I was always a low-profile senior advocate who would go and sit in the 3rd or 4th row, not being taken off in spite of my seniority. I had undertaken for myself that I wouldn't engage more than a case a day. I found a lawyer from Gujarat arguing a case in Delhi High Court before a division bench. The argument was spirited but without raising decibel. It reflected complete preparedness of the fact situation and the applicable legal regime. I therefore could not resist congratulating him that, young man, you will go a long way. I turned out to be prophetic, but I still remember when he looked at me, I politely said, I'm the senior most person in the entire court. Honorable Justice Sri Chandrasekhar, I know him more than a decade, sir. Much more than that. And must have appeared in his court in Jharkhand number of times. A judge who always is prepared more than the lawyer, beware of it. Tell my message to the lawyers here. And is a stickler for compliance, and he gives due respect, but in the process is equitable, uniform, which means you can't get attention because you are somebody. You get attention because you are assisting the court. Me and my wife had the good occasion to have an anecdotal situation with him in the airport lounge at Ranchi. The learned judge was on way to Delhi, so were we, that's me and my wife, and the judge paid me, in my perception, a compliment. And mind you, he had said so. He addressed my wife, Madam, एक अठन्ने में 4 चवन्ने करते हैं आपके पति. His judgments are known for clarity, and Jharkhand High Court has litigation of contentious flavor with huge fiscal consequences like Chhattisgarh, sir. But that is not the reason why I was more in those high courts and not in Rajasthan. His presence on the bench here and in the High Court should be extremely beneficial to the bar, to the bench, to the judiciary at district and lower levels. Honorable Justice Dr. Pushpendra Singh Bhati, I don't know for how long I know him, but I know him for a very, very long time. Very, very long time. Justice Bhati gave me very tough time in court, more so in the court of Justice Arun Mishra. Very tough time. Polite, disarming, but will never spare a ball and will always protect his wicket. I had the good fortune. I have appeared in this court very rarely after being designated senior. Very rarely, except I think on 3 or 4 occasions to count in 30 years. But in one case, I had a compulsive scenario and I had took up. Oh my God, very tough judge. You have to make not 100% full of case of questioning of an FIR, but more than that. Honorable judges of this honorable court, and we are proud of each of you, because this High Court is, notwithstanding what impression Justice Srivastava and Justice Chandrasekhar will hold, is a High Court where I have a deep sense of belonging. I am today what this High Court has made me. And therefore I can say, when we started, there was great cordiality in the bar. It continues to be so. Let me give you a small illustration. I am doing all this because I have no idea and no intention of reflecting on the 3 laws. Justice Mehta has done full justice with a background being given by Justice Chandrasekhar and elucidation by Chief Justice Srivastava. So let me tell judicial officers, I had thought of contesting an election for Rajasthan Bar High Court Association. I thought I must contest for the post of Joint Secretary, given I was in the profession for 5-6 years. Some lawyer provoked me. I don't get provoked any longer. But I got provoked. He said, अध्यक्ष का चुनाव लड़ रहे हो? मैंने कहा हाँ. So friends, that was my first election in the Bar Association. Made up my mind to contest for Joint Secretaryship. Mahendra knows a post down the line. Contested for President, filled the form and came home. Told my wife, I have done this. He said, don't think now why you have done it. Because you have done it, it's not good to withdraw. Friends, I was elected as President of the High Court Bar Association. That led to my contest to the Bar Council. I was equally fortunate. So I had a track record, which were people were very keen, Sandeep ji, to break it. So all got together. I fell in the trap. They persuaded me to contest again for the presidency. Then all of them got together against me. Well, you know what happened thereafter. So I am grateful to Chief Justice Srivastava ji for giving me this opportunity to be in this building for the first time. It is my first visit to this building. I therefore express my deep sense of greetings to all the members of the registry, all the members of the staff, and I send my greetings also to the members of the bar, people working with the lawyers, and the clerks. In togetherness, they constitute a fraternity that drives the justice system. अब जब यहाँ आया तो मन में कुछ विचार आया, पता अब तक नहीं बदला हमारा, वही घर है वही किस्सा हमारा. That's how I reflected. मुद्दतों के बाद लौटा हूं मैं अपने घर, हर कोने में यादें हैं यदि है और हैं हर हर दीवार पर. When I used to come to the High Court here, my first interaction was as President of the High Court Bar at the Jaipur bench. I was young. I thought, why the two bars must not act in unison? I tried my utmost. I thought of convergence of the two bar associations, a unified bar for this High Court, and that led me to come to this place on occasions. And there in the old building was a senior advocate's lounge. It was a small room. I'll tell you two things that happened there. Rajesh Joshi, a senior advocate of this court, his father was not designated senior, but was part of that team. We had Mr. Mridul, and we had many more. Now, Rajesh's father, Joshi is no more. He used to every time make most of my visit. If you recollect, most of you may not, but some of you will, Mr. Mridulji, he wrote a book after he had been to Russia, खुली आंख का सपना, मतलब वो कवि थे. तो केन जोशी जी कहते थे, मृदुल जी आप वकीलों में सीनियर कवि हो और कवियों में सीनियर वकील हो. As every senior advocate should be modest, and when you come to a place like Jodhpur, which has a rich legal history of stalwarts who have dominated the Supreme Court, International Court of Justice, and the bar, you have to be modest if you happen to be the most senior advocate in the state. And I had that honor. But Joshi gave me that pleasure and feeling when he would get a book from the library, take us to that section, if I'm not mistaken, 24, and make not me but others read. I have had good moments here. A giant of this bar who chose not to be senior, that was senior in sublime, in pristine manner, Lekhraj ji. Amazing. How can I forget it? Jodhpur gave 2 jewels, 3 jewels, but I had greater connect with 2 of them. Justice Singhvi, Justice R.M. Lodha. We were contemporaries in the Jaipur bar. Justice Magraj Kalla. As luck would have it, gentlemen, I got elected to Parliament in 89 and had the good fortune to be a minister. That was the time when we did not have Justice Mehta, Honorable Judge of the Supreme Court, collegial system. We did not have. That was perhaps the last time when the government of the day exercised the power to appoint judges. Vacancies in Rajasthan High Court then were 13. A late night, Mr. Dinesh Goswami, our law minister, and Justice Mehta has been in that area. He came to me and that we have to select 13 judges for Rajasthan High Court. Here is the list. I'm sharing it for the first time. I thought, oh God, what good names are there. Justice Tibrewal, Justice Kejriwal, Justice Singhvi, Justice Magraj Kalla, Justice Yadra Meena. I forgot the name of the chartered accountant. Mahendra can help me. Justice? Yes, absolutely. I was testing whether after becoming a judge, has he gone slow with his reflex action? No. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I must slightly come to the subject also now. In 1980, Bar Council of India Trust had a program, 7-day workshop on criminal advocacy. And they had to select only one advocate from one bar council, which means then the bar council in Guwahati High Court, all 8 states won. For some good reason, my enrollment to the bar council was through Justice Nagendra Jain ji, a great badminton player. So he picked me up. I went to Administrative Staff College, Hyderabad for 7 days. Now, who were in the faculty? Justice Chandrachud, senior, or I don't know whether we can call him junior, but certainly a gentleman. I have no intention of being hurtful to anybody's ego. So I would say, the then Chief Justice, who was Chief Justice of this country for over 6 years? 7 years. And while he had gone and met his maker, his distinguished son effected rectification of ADM Jabalpur. Justice Mehta would be knowing more. Justice Bhagwati, because the court then was known as Justice Chandrachud and Justice Bhagwati Court. Mr. Ram Jethlani, Mr. Fali Nariman, Justice P. Basi Reddy, Justice P. H. Chaudhary, and celebrated lawyer from Tamil Nadu, then Madras, Govind Swaminathan. 7 days criminal jurisprudence was taught to us. 3 observations were made. One, and that's more relevant for Justice Sandeep Mehta ji. Chief Justice then Chandrachud said, when one judge calls another judge, my brother judge, he never means it. Then to the lawyers here, if there are any, he went on to say, when one lawyer says another lawyer, my learned friend, he also doesn't believe it. And third, he told me, because it was a small group, 20 odd young lawyers with the giants of the system, criminal jurisprudence was being imparted. So, he said, what? You are teetotaler and you wish to be a good lawyer in criminal jurisprudence? At that, I continue to be teetotaler now. So, let there be no doubt about it, you see. My response was quick, and that endeared to me to Justice Chandrachud Senior. I am yet to earn that love from the next generation. I said, sir, if required, I'll start right now. He was really concerned. He said, are you serious? I said, sir, before Chief Justice of India, how can I be known serious? And I leisurely, that was good comrade. Sir, if I am known serious, it will graduate to contempt. So he said, no, don't go. Things will work out on your own. Coming back to another anecdotal situation for the benefit of Justice Sandeep Mehta again. Justice Kuldeep Singh, a very distinguished judge of the Supreme Court, known to have presided over the first Green Court, though not officially, but otherwise. He was Additional Solicitor General with Mr. Ramaswamy, who later on became Attorney General. So Justice Kuldeep Singh was in court. He became Judge of the Supreme Court. And Ramaswamy ji negotiated his way to the highest position, that of Attorney General. So, Ramaswamy ji, the Attorney General, was a little late, and Justice Kuldeep Singh slightly took note of it and made a lighter observation. What do you think? We have nothing here. Usnika, my lords, if I say yes, it is contempt. If I say no, it is puzzling. Sir, my position as Chairman Rajya Sabha and Vice President of the country is like this. I shared a great anecdote with a gentleman who is not with us. Giant of the profession, I had the good fortune to succeed him in Paris as member International Court of Arbitration. And he said, we are living in tough times. This was about sycophancy and hypocrisy. उसने कहा, Jagdeep, the celebrated lawyer enjoyed drinks in the evening. I was a teetotaler, therefore I was absolutely a very pliant, easy guest who will serve him also. I served my father many a times, so I was really good at it. Can you define what is hypocrisy and sycophancy? I don't know what occurred to me at that point of time. I'm a rustic villager in that sense, and things occurred to us suddenly. So it occurred to me suddenly, and that was, if vice, don't mistake with vice president, vice, that vice is positive. Protocol vice number 2, but positive. If vice pays homage to virtue. Am I clear? Vice pays homage to virtue. I said, sir, it is sycophancy. If virtue pays homage to vice, I said, sir, it's hypocrisy. He said, you have no two options. Tell me in which category are you? Because these days you can't survive unless you are in one of the two categories. Well, I have always pleaded. I had the fortune when history was made. I was privileged when such a massive, revolutionary, transformative mechanism in a criminal justice system was taking place. When criminal jurisprudence that was in tune with our ethos and civilizational values, when it was taking place, demand had been there for decades. People were considerably agitated. Why we don't get rid ourselves of colonial legacy? Why should we still subscribe to that mindset? There are several provisions in those statutes which are no longer in vogue. So this demand was fructified because last 10 years are known for one thing. And before I say so, ladies and gentlemen, I am politically neutral. And I plead with members of the Rajya Sabha to be bipartisan. Did we ever imagine that the only temporary article of the Constitution 370 would be gone? It was gone. Money mode legislation took place. So the voice was being raised from the ground. When would we get our laws that define our life? Because the most precious aspect of human life is liberty. People love democracy because they take liberty as their lifeline. So we had this negotiating journey, difficult terrain, air pockets all the way. And let me tell the judicial officers, because you are the most vital stakeholders. The benefit will accrue to the people. The lawyers will learn from you. It is your skill, your interest, your grip on these laws that will result in ground realization of the benefits. The transition from Dand Vidhan to Nyay Vidhan is not in a slogan. Over 200 meetings in the Ministry of Home Affairs. Every provision minutely examined. All stakeholders taken on board. And that is why, when I was in the chair, we were having debate on the three laws. They were so spinally strong that legal luminaries, members of Rajya Sabha, Mr. P. Chidambaram, Mr. Kapil Sibal, Mr. K.T.S. Tulsi, Dr. Abhishek Singhvi, Mr. Vivek Dhankhar, contributed by silence. I know you may speak anything outside. You may argue in the corridor, but you help a judgment get scripted by what you argue before the bench. Sir, none of them was there. And don't blame me. As chairman Rajya Sabha, none of them had suffered suspension. My suspension from senior advocacy may have taken place, but I still count myself in that category and for all time's sake, I have respect. But gentlemen, I was shocked and surprised and stunned also when Mr. Chidambaram, a former Home Minister, a distinguished member of Rajya Sabha, and an early minister of Harvard, gave a statement outside the House. Now, let me tell you before I say so, I am not carried away by this. Someone is from Harvard, someone is from Cambridge, someone is from that. Mr. Sandeep Mehta is as good as lawyer as he is, and I'm sure he has not been to Harvard. And from 86 till I became a senior advocate, in less than 3.5 years after he became a lawyer, I knew a threat was coming to me from Jodhpur. And the threat was with geometric speed. You need not have. But he said so. That I had given objections to the joint committee. I was worried that where have I defaulted? All my life, no one had questioned me in court that I was wrong on fact. I had looked into every word of the joint committee on the department-related committee on home affairs headed by Mr. Brajlal, a distinguished police officer who became Director General of Police and a distinguished member of Rajya Sabha. So I thought I wished to have a sound sleep. So I directed my staff, get the objections of a distinguished member of Parliament, Mr. P. Chidambaram, before me in an hour. I'm always baffled by the speed. Where is Mr. Balekar? Well, wherever he may be, he always manages to work faster than me, but I'm sure in a year or so I'll overcome his speed. It was available to me first, immediately scanned and sent to me, and then the hard copy. I noticed 3 or 4 things in 2.5 pages. And the media coverage was as if something very important was there and that had been missed out. The first objection was, why is there death penalty? I was surprised because before you have rendered erudite address, and I will suggest to the registry what you have reflected, what Chief Justice Srivastava has reflected, and what Justice Chandrasekhar reflected, must be distributed to all the judicial officers. You will be enlightened. So I thought to myself, is this an objection? All over the world there is death penalty. We have terrorists, enemies of humanity, enemies of state, enemies of society. But then he was in power. And we had an unfortunate case of a girl, and prescription was death sentence. So I found that how can there be such kind of a conduct? And I could appreciate he would have to be not on quicksand to say so in Rajya Sabha, therefore it explains his absence. Second very serious objection by him. I'll tell you why I'm saying so in a while. Second very serious objection was, definitions are cut and paste. Now tell me on earth, have any piece of legislation of the same item, Mr. Sandeep Mehta, you will have it across all statutes. So much so that in revenue laws, we have them transportation. Trust me, my respect for Mr. Sandeep Mehta is on account of his sharp clarity on criminal jurisprudence. It is an area where you cannot hoodwink the judge. A judge at the trial court is always more possessed of the complete file than the lawyer. His grip on the facts is faultless. And he knows the law, and lawyers are there to make him know about it. I therefore appeal to judicial officers. You might suffer. These laws have come. They will take time. We have to understand them. Even we have to change the nomenclature. Sir, first reflect. Let me say, Evidence Act. Over the years, there has been qualitative change. The basic concept, the normal rule, which we have seen over the centuries, presumption of innocence, was varied by Evidence Act. The definition of rape had undergone change. In various provisions of penal code, we had amendments. We had to struggle as lawyers. Now the judges at the trial court level and the lawyers are well enabled to take recourse to technology. During our time, we used to have a register. You also had. The register was a precious repository of wisdom and knowledge. Bail can be granted in these circumstances. We would have a judgment from Madras Law Journal, then Criminal Law Journal, then AIR Lahore, and we'll have it ready because you can't have Xerox copy also then. So the book had to be carried. We have to have library all around. When I got electronic, while I was in Delhi, a truckload had to come to Jaipur and my library has to be distributed among some lawyers. Labor going to one, service jurisprudence going to another, likewise. So please do not have, when they send me a glass of water, they tell me your time is over long before you do. Huh? I know. Come on. Never disregard the highest, be it the Supreme Court or the lady in command. Am I right, Srivastava ji? I must give an impression that I am a pliable husband. And trust me, always in court I was most disciplined. And sometimes, let me tell you my problem. If I went to an outside court, the judge wouldn't know me. What do I do? Then the gown doesn't say that you are senior for so many years. Then it also doesn't say how spinally strong you are. And by appearance I am meek because I am a married man. Married to a lady who is more educated than I am. So we have several styles of telling things. Oh, when I was senior, 15 years ago, I had the occasion to appear before a bench that gave me this lesson. Idea is not the lesson, but the 15 years. I have taken exception to an awful expression in the Constitution, subordinate judiciary. I wish you do away with it. Judges at any level, perform the same job. But in criminal jurisprudence, the trial judge has the same power except one, as the High Court has. And that is, when you award a death sentence, there used to be reference, current laws, you may take note of it. I have come here especially to thank you that this is my first visit here and to share my one thought with you. You have not seen the nation we have seen. 34 years ago, our economy, I was a minister, our economy was smaller than that of London City. Our foreign exchange was less than 1 billion. We had to place our gold in physical form to 2 banks in Switzerland. And when I went to Jammu and Kashmir as a minister, there were not 20 people on the road. Now more than 2 crore people were tourists last year. Foreign exchange is over $650 billion. Sometimes that's more than $1 billion a year. And of course, economy is 5th largest in the world, on way to become the 3rd. Now all this happens because the people who love their liberty, that vulnerable aspect of their life is in your hands. When you have the power, and some of the power generates confidence in the people. Major part of litigation comes to an end. Therefore, please, neither look left, right, or center. No alibis, no escape routes. These laws have been gifted to us to unshackle us from colonial legacy, to get rid of that mindset. The laws are not for subjects. The laws are not for sovereign power that was from outside. The laws are by us, for us, and to be translated into reality by us. I know already there is an issue before Rajasthan High Court, if I'm not mistaken. I got an input. 2 single judges have disagreed on one of these or given varying opinions on the same issue. It happens. Justice Mr. Tushar Mehta will bear me out. When you had a new amendment in the Arbitration Act, Bombay High Court took one view and Patna High Court took another view. And people like me, then senior advocates, enormously benefited. Because we are the most exploitative category in the world. We senior advocates. So, please, be in mission mode. Be passionate about it. People need it. If you examine the various facets, first investigation, you will find revolutionary changes have come. Initially, everyone was helpless if that 15-day period was over, not any longer. If you come to admissibility of evidence that you can electronically secure, provisions had been made in the Evidence Act earlier for a variety of reasons. They were so technical that they became escape routes. Admissibility of that material in any trial became vulnerable from day one because that particular certificate under section 64 capital B. I'm not practicing, I don't charge any longer. Therefore, I seek assistance. And likewise, handhold everyone. I know bar is enormously talented and always open. Handhold. Your preparation, your involvement, your grip in these laws will determine the success of this revolutionary step. Well, I shouldn't be taking any more time because what they don't do is that after taking this water, if I be still here after 5 short minutes, then none of you will be around to save me from the ultimate wrath. Thank you so much for your patience and audience.
I extend our deepest gratitude to the Honorable Vice President of India for gracing us with a keynote address of such profound significance and insight. As we cherish this momentous eve of the Platinum Jubilee celebrations, it is profoundly fitting to seize the occasion with the presentation of a memento that will forever encapsulate the significance of this gathering. This token not only commemorates our Platinum Jubilee celebrations, but also immortalizes our unwavering commitment to the principles of justice, equity, and integrity that define our judicial system. For this, I cordially invite Honorable the Chief Justice, Mr. M.M. Srivastav, to kindly present a memento to Honorable the Vice President of India, Shri Jagdeep Dhankhar. Thank you, Your Lordship. I further invite Honorable Mr. Justice Shri Chandrasekhar to kindly present a memento to Honorable Mr. Justice Sandeep Mehta. Thank you, Your Lordship. I now invite Honorable Mr. Justice Manoj Kumar Garg to kindly present a memento to Mr. Tushar Gupta. Thank you, Your Lordship. As we come to a close of this program, I invite with great pleasure Honorable Dr. Justice Pushpendra Singh Bhati to deliver the vote of thanks.
परम आदरणीय महामहिम उपराष्ट्रपति महोदय जगदीप धनखड़ साहब, मैडम धनखड़ साहब, परम आदरणीय, आज के दिन के हमारे अपने राजस्थान के सर्वोच्च न्यायालय के न्यायाधिपति बड़े भ्राता संदीप मेहता साहब, हमारी टीम के कप्तान, राजस्थान न्यायिक परिवार के और विधि परिवार के मुखिया चीफ जस्टिस साहब मनिंदर मोहन श्रीवास्तव साहब, मेरे बड़े भ्राता चंद्रशेखर जी साहब, सॉलिसिटर जनरल ऑफ इंडिया तुषार मेहता साहब, मेरे बड़े भ्राता पंकज भंडारी साहब, समस्त मेरे भ्रातागण, बहनें, मैडम श्रीवास्तव, मैडम मेहता, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल सिस्टर, समस्त न्यायिक अधिकारीगण, आज एक बड़ा विशेष दिन है जब हम सब यहाँ इस प्लेटिनम जुबली के इस पड़ाव पे, इस सुंदर पड़ाव पे, जब राजस्थान हाई कोर्ट अपनी गौरवमयी 75वीं वर्ष पूरी कर रहा है, तब हम सब यहाँ एक सुंदर दिन के अंदर आज यहाँ इकट्ठा हुए हैं। और इनमें राजस्थान के अपने सितारे महामहिम धनखड़ साहब ने भी आज यहाँ पधार करके इस प्लेटिनम जुबली की यात्रा को पे 4 चांद लगा दिए। मुझे महामहिम महोदय, मुझे ये पता है कि धन्यवाद प्रस्ताव जो है वह कोई महसूस नहीं कर सकता, देख नहीं सकता, छू नहीं सकता, लेकिन शायद एक ऐसी चीज़ है जो अति महत्वपूर्ण है, जो दिल के अंदर बसा के इंसान ले जा सकता है। हमारा धन्यवाद आप यहाँ से लेके जाएं। आप हमारे परिवार के एक सदस्य हैं, राजस्थान के एक हमेशा के लिए एक सम्मानित सदस्य हैं, विधि जगत के एक सम्मानित सदस्य हैं। हमें बहुत खुशी है कि आप यहाँ इस दिन पधारें। मैं एक छोटी सी बात आपके साथ शेयर करना चाहूँगा सर, धन्यवाद के इस मौके पे, कि पिछले सप्ताह हमारी खंडपीठ के अंदर लक्ष्मण मुरारी साहब मेरे साथ विराजे थे। एक छोटा बच्चा आया और उस छोटा बच्चे की उम्र 5 साल थी और उसने कहा कि उससे 5 दिन पहले वो और आया कि आप, मैंने उससे पूछा कि तुम कस्टडी मैटर था कि माता के साथ जाना चाहते हो पिता के साथ, तो उसने कहा कि मैं 4 दिन माता के साथ जाना चाहता हूँ, 4 दिन पिता के साथ। तो मैंने 1 घंटे तक उसके माता पिता को समझाया, मैंने कहा 4 दिन आप रखना, 4 दिन आप। वो चले गए, फिर वापस आए, उन्होंने कहा हम आराम से थे। वो जो बच्चे ने कहा वैसे वैसे मैंने वो ऑर्डर कर दिया, जबकि उस बच्चे की उम्र केवल 5 साल थी। दूसरी बार वो आया, उसने कहा कि मैं अब मेरी माता के साथ रहना चाहता हूँ, लेकिन सारी छुट्टियाँ, चाहे दिवाली, होली और अन्य सारी छुट्टियाँ पिता के साथ रहना चाहता हूँ। फिर मैंने उनको निवेदन किया, उन्होंने फिर मान लिया। बड़े काइंड माँ बाप थे, बड़े पढ़े लिखे थे, बहुत ऊंचे वरिष्ठ अधिकारी हैं। उन्होंने कहा कि नहीं, हम इसकी बात मानेंगे। 5 साल के बच्चे की बात मान के मैंने ऑर्डर कर दिया सर। उसने नीचे से परमिशन मांगी 5 साल के बच्चे से कि ऊपर आए और पीठ पे आकर के मेरे को लक्ष्मण साहब को धन्यवाद दे। साधारणतः ऐसा कभी होता नहीं है कि हम कोर्ट में किसी का धन्यवाद लें, पर चूंकि वो एक 5 साल का बच्चा था तो मैंने कहा आप आइए। वो बच्चा आया और वो कागज के 2 फूल लेकर के आया और उसके बाद मैंने वो फूल उससे बच्चे से वहाँ लिए और उसने मेरे कान में धीरे से कहा थैंक यू सर। तो ये धन्यवाद जो है वो एक अगर उसकी व्याख्या की जाए तो कुछ भी नहीं है, और अगर समझा जाए तो बहुत कुछ है। तो हम आपका बहुत तहे दिल से सारा राजस्थान हाईकोर्ट परिवार, राजस्थान विधि जगत आपको धन्यवाद देता है कि आज आप इस प्लेटफॉर्म की यात्रा पे आए। मैं एक लाइन और बताना चाहूँगा सर कि ऐसा होता नहीं है, मैंने कभी किया नहीं, लेकिन मेरे को पूछा, लेकिन मैंने उसमें और एक लाइन ऐड कर दी कि दी जो कागज के 2 फूल थे मैंने उसमें लिखा कि दीज फ्लावर्स शैल ऑलवेज रिमेन ए रिकॉर्ड ऑन रिकॉर्ड एज लाइब्रेरी ऑफ दिस कोर्ट एज ए सिंबल ऑफ मीडिएशन एंड चाइल्ड केयर। ऐसा करके मैंने उसमें एक लाइन और सर। मैं 1991 में, सर कह रहे थे मैं बहुत सालों से पुष्पेंद्र को जानता हूँ, मैं 1991 में विधि के फाइनल ईयर में था। मेरे गुरु अरुणेश्वर गुप्ता सुप्रीम कोर्ट में सुप्रीम एडवोकेट ऑन रिकॉर्ड थे। उन्होंने मुझे सर से मिलाया। सर को जब पता चला कि राजस्थान से ये नया अधिवक्ता आया हुआ है जिसको कुछ समझ में ही नहीं आ रहा कि दिल्ली क्या होती है, तो सर ने एक फर्स्ट फ्लोर पे सर का MP, जहाँ तक मुझे याद आ रहा है, मुझे गलत नहीं याद होगा, MP के रूप में सर का घर था, वो फर्स्ट फ्लोर पे घर था। सर ने मुझे चाय पे बुलाया, बिठाया और इतना सारा आशीर्वाद दिया और इतना मनोबल मेरा बढ़ाया कि मैं वहाँ दिल्ली में मजबूती से 3 साल तक अपना कार्य कर सका। और एक मेंटोर के रूप में मैं हमेशा देखता हूँ, एक विचित्र सी बात मैंने सर के बारे में देखी, वो ये देखी कि जहाँ जाओ, जिस भी यात्रा में जाओ, लोग कहते हैं सर हमारे मेंटोर रहे हैं, अधिवक्ताओं में, विधि विशेषज्ञों में, सामाजिक उसमें मूल्यों, सामाजिक परिप्रेक्ष्य में, राजनीतिक परिप्रेक्ष्य में सर ने इतनी मेंटरिंग करी है कि आज महामहिम के पद को सुशोभित होने से पहले इन्होंने शायद सारी दुनिया जीत ली, सारी दुनिया के दिल जीत लिए, और सारी दुनिया को, जैसा आपने अभी अपना रिश्ता बताया मनेंद्र शास्त्री साहब के साथ, चंद्रशेखर साहब के साथ, संदीप मेहता साहब के साथ, तुषार मेहता साहब, सर ने सबके दिल जीते हुए थे पहले से। मुझे अत्यंत खुशी है कि आज इस मौके पे आपने हमारा साथ दिया। मैं ये भी बताना चाहूँगा सर कि आपको देखने में थोड़ा, आपका धन्यवाद इसलिए भी थोड़ा टेढ़ा काम है, इसलिए थोड़ा मुश्किल काम है क्योंकि आप जो है, जब मैं एक तरफ देखता हूँ तो मुझे आप में एक बहुत ही वरिष्ठ और बहुत ही उत्कृष्ट श्रेणी का अधिवक्ता नजर आता है। जब मैं आपकी BSc की क्वालिफिकेशन देखता हूँ तो मुझे आपका साइंटिफिक टेम्परामेंट नजर आता है। जब मैं आपका सैनिक स्कूल राजस्थान का बैकग्राउंड देखता हूँ तो मेरे को आपके अंदर एक आर्मी का कमांडर नजर आता है। और जब मैं एक आपको जो है वो राज्यसभा को चलाते हुए टीवी पे देखता हूँ तो मुझे लगता है कि आप किसी प्रधानाध्यापक की तरह हैं जो स्कूल में बच्चों को डांट करके और उनसे अपना काम करवाते हैं। और इस तरह से जो मल्टीफेरियस आपकी एक्टिविटीज़ हैं, मल्टीफेरियस आपके जो रोल्स हैं, जो आपने अपने आप को जिस रोल पे लाके खड़ा किया, हम सब इसके लिए आपका विशेष रूप से धन्यवाद देते हैं सर। और मैं धन्यवाद देना चाहूँगा संदीप मेहता साहब का। मेरे पास कोई शब्द नहीं है। कानून के, अपने विधि के कानून के, अपनी जगत, राजस्थान की जगत के, हिंदुस्तान की जगत में, खास करके दांडिक प्रक्रियाओं के अंदर, दांडिक कानूनों के अंदर संदीप मेहता साहब का क्या रोल है ये मुझे बताने की आवश्यकता नहीं है। फिर भी ये उनका घर है जोधपुर में, मैं उनको धन्यवाद क्या दूं, पर मैं मुख्य न्यायाधिपति चंद्रचूड़ साहब की 2 लाइनें जो हैं वो उनके ऑनर में पेश करना चाहूँगा। वो कहती हैं, तेरे आने की जब खबर महके, तेरी खुशबू से सारा घर महके। तो आपके आने से सर हमेशा ये राजस्थान हाईकोर्ट महकता है और एक नई खुशबू आती है और बहुत खुशी होती है हम सबको कि आप यहाँ पधारे, आपने अपना आशीर्वाद दिया। मुझे इस बात का बहुत गर्व है कि आप वहाँ न केवल राजस्थान की पूरी मेंटरिंग करते हैं, गार्जियनशिप करते हैं, बल्कि इतना ध्यान रखते हैं कि प्लेटिनम जुबली से लगा के जो भी चीज़ राजस्थान हाईकोर्ट की होती है आप उसका एक विशेष उसको दर्जा देते हैं, विशेष ध्यान रखते हैं। मैं मेरे कप्तान श्री अफसर साहब का धन्यवाद देना चाहूँगा कि हमने अपने कल्पना में भी नहीं सोचा था कि राजस्थान का विधि जगत प्लेटिनम जुबली जमाते हुए करते हुए इतनी हिमालयन ऊंचाइयों को छुएगा। ये धन्यवाद है इन कप्तान का, इन मुखिया का, जिन्होंने राजस्थान की न्यायपालिका को, राजस्थान के हाईकोर्ट को जो हाइट दी। आज मैं गौरव के साथ कह सकता हूँ शायद इस देश के अंदर ऐसी संस्था जिसने इतनी सुंदर तरीके से अपना प्लेटिनम जुबली बनाया हो और इस शीर्ष स्थल को हासिल किया हो, ऐसे बढ़िया मुखिया के रहते हुए मैं धन्यवाद देता हूं कप्तान आपको, हम सब की तरफ से, हम सब टीम मेंबर्स की तरफ से कि आपने ऐसा अद्भुत चमत्कार, ऐसा अद्भुत आपने जो है श्रम पूर्वक आपने जो है ये मुकाम हासिल किया। धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूँ तुषार मेहता साहब का पहले मैं केवल, हालांकि मेरे घर का एक संजय है जो मुझे आंखों दृष्टि देखा, इनकी टीम के मेंबर होने का, तो सारी चीज़ें इनके बारे में बताते रहता है, लेकिन तुषार मेहता साहब वो गोल्डन आर्ट है जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट में कानून के बड़े चक्रव्यूहों में से निकल करके अर्जुन की तरह अपना युद्ध करते रहते हैं और एक आर्मी के बड़े कमांडर की तरह अपनी टीम को लीड करते हैं। और सबसे ज़्यादा मज़ा तब आता है जब सर को कभी अगर लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग के अंदर फैज़ की और अन्य उनकी जब शायरी करते हुए देखो तो सर का एक डिफरेंट रूप सामने आता है। तब ये समझ में नहीं आता कि सर जो हैं वो शायर ज़्यादा अच्छे हैं या अधिवक्ता ज़्यादा अच्छे हैं, क्योंकि दोनों में बहुत उत्कृष्टता उनकी है और बहुत ऊंचे दर्जे के इंसान हैं। और आप जैसा गोल्डन हार्ट आज यहाँ हमारे बीच में हमारी प्लेटिनम जुबली में शामिल हुआ राजस्थान हाई कोर्ट के अंदर, इसके लिए मैं तुषार मेहता साहब आपका बहुत विशेष धन्यवाद देता हूँ। मैं जो है वो मेरे सब भाई दौड़े चले आए जयपुर से, मेरी बहन जयपुर से दौड़े चले आए, सुबह 500 6 घंटे लगा के सब दौड़ रहे हैं, वहाँ बर पहुँच गए, अब यहाँ पहुँच गए हैं, कितनी सुंदर यात्रा। और मैं महामहिम आपको ये भी बताना चाहूँगा कि सारे जजेस जो पीछे बैठे हुए हैं, भ्राता और बहनें, ये सब सैकड़ों किलोमीटर से आज यहाँ आए, ताकि आज चीफ साहब का एक ये था कि हम जजेस के लिए कुछ आज करेंगे, जिससे कि हम सारे राजस्थान की हर डिस्ट्रिक्ट से न्यायाधीश बुलाएंगे और वो सब आएंगे और हम सब मिल करके आज इस जश्न को मनाएंगे और नए कानूनों की व्याख्या करेंगे। तो मैं विशेष रूप से उन सब जजेस का जो बाहर से सैकड़ों किलोमीटर चल करके यहाँ आए हैं या पधारे हैं, मैं आपका स्वागत भी करता हूँ, आपका धन्यवाद भी देता हूँ। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद कि आप सब आए और आपने इस प्लेटिनम जुबली यात्रा को प्रासंगिक बनाया। मैं लास्ट में सर बहुत सारी बातें और भी कहना था, लेकिन टाइम बहुत कम है और आपका प्रोटोकॉल बहुत हैवी है सर, लेकिन फिर भी मैं एक बात तो फिर भी कहना चाहूँगा, वो मैडम के लिए मैं कह रहा हूँ, वो ये है कि मेरे यहाँ पे सर पितातुल्य मेरे हमारे पितातुल्य जज हैं सर, माननीय जस्टिस अशोक माथुर साहब। तो अशोक माथुर साहब जब अमेरिका गए, मैडम जब अशोक माथुर साहब अमेरिका गए तो उस दिन उनकी मैरिज एनिवर्सरी थी। तो वो पड़ोसन एक जो वहाँ अमेरिकन लेडी थी, उन्होंने से पूछा कि आप इतना क्या सेलिब्रेट कर रहे हो? कहते मेरी 50वीं मैरिज एनिवर्सरी है। उनकी बेटी का मकान वहाँ है, वहीं थे वो, अशोक माथुर साहब की बेटी के मकान में। तो उसने कहा 50 ईयर्स? तो बोला यस। तो उस लेडी ने कहा विद द सेम लेडी? तो वही उसी विद द सेम लेडी, 50 ईयर्स विद द सेम लेडी? तो अशोक माथुर साहब ने कहा हाँ विद द सेम लेडी। तो इसलिए मैं आप दोनों आपकी आज ये हमारे लिए प्रेरणा का विषय है कि आप 50 साल के सुखद आप दोनों का साथ हमेशा ऐसे ही बना रहे। आप दोनों को मंच पे देख करके, मैडम खास करके आपको देख करके बहुत ही हम जो है विधि जगत के लोग सब बहुत गदगद हैं और बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। आपकी जोड़ी हमेशा ऐसे ही कायम रहे और ईश्वर ऐसे ही हम सबको स्वस्थ रखे। जय हिंद, जय भारत, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Thank you, Your Lordship, for gracing us with that address.